Welcome to That Japanese Thing. Today with us we have Greg. He's been on the channel before. Yeah. Welcome, Greg. How's it going?
Hello there. Yeah, not too horrible. Yourselves?
Pretty good. A little bit,
I'm doing well.
bit tired because I've been doing a lot of physical labor, but that's like a healthy thing, so pretty good. Obviously, Yesh is, still settling into his new life in frigid Chicago. Although at the moment he's like wearing shorts and such.
I was about to say, I saw a photo of him. He was wearing shorts.
It's true. Also, a lot of very embarrassing things were on Yesh's head. Yesh, when you listen to this, there was a great image you sent us.
It was very good.
So we were playing a D&D game, and Yesh doesn't have a computer set up yet, as far as I understand. So he was running off, I don't know, some sort of like mini PC box slash laptopy thing into virtual like Google glasses. It's like a set of glasses that each has a screen in each lens, like a VR lens, except it can't run VR. And then he had like a headset on, and there were just wires all over him. He looked like a cyberpunk character. I mean, it was great.
It's a shame we weren't playing like a cyberpunky game. It would have been very thematically appropriate.
I mean, it was even in like an empty room in like an unfurnished apartment, right? It's so cyberpunky. It's crazy. But yeah, so my name's Chris. We have Dylan here, and of course Greg, who we've just spoken to. And we're just going to be talking about the new season of anime. I know it's a little bit later than we've traditionally posted these sort of things, but it's been busy for everyone. And at least it's given us all time to have a look through and see what we want to watch. And Greg has had a look and to see what he thinks is worth watching this season. We're going to go from score order on my anime list, from top to bottom. And we'll just pick out a few things we think that's worth watching along the way. There will be timestamps in the description for anyone who wants to skip and see if an anime is worth watching. So on that note, let us start. Is there anything that stood out to you before we dive into the list of things that you'd like to bring up as like a top of the order recommend?
I mean, there were a few that I enjoyed, but not so much so that I'm like, stop the bus. We're starting with this one. So I'm happy to just go through via the ranking list. I don't know, Dylan, is there anything from your side?
I've got probably one that I enjoyed, but likewise, we can get to it when we get to it.
Yeah.
Or at the end, we can just do it.
So I just had one that stood out, but it's going to come up pretty soon. So I think let's just go through. There's a new season of Bleach, why?
Well, so first of all, who all did both of you watch the first episode of it or all?
No.
Even me, I didn't. So
I'm over. Like the thing is, I think if you don't know, unless you're a hardcore Bleach fan.
But I was a hardcore Bleach fan. And
yeah, but the was is the
what 2009 or something it ended, right? Something like that. It's just such a long time ago now.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pick it up.
I didn't even make it to the end of that. Hey, I burnt out halfway through.
I may have watched like 400 episodes of Bleach in a row, at some point. So we used to do like a LARP thing, and sometime I would make chainmail to wear, and that's basically like hardcore knitting. So what I would do is put Bleach on and link bits of metal together to make chainmail.
Chainmail show.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it must be an amazing watch because it's there at the top of the list, highest rated.
We sort of discussed this before. My anime list is no indication of anything except the people that use my anime list putting things on a list, right? There's a Japanese equivalent website which is a lot more accurate in terms of popularity, but it's all in Japanese, so it's hard to talk about. Jujutsu Kaisen is the second one here.
Mhm.
And this looks much more interesting than it has in the past.
Yeah, well, did you watch the first season?
I watched bits of it. I
Did you
didn't
watch
watch
the
the whole
movie?
thing. No, I didn't. No.
So,
I'm just saying, like the aesthetic and like the music and everything seems like a lot better than the first season. So this might just be more enjoyable if
Yeah.
you like the plot and the story of it already.
So they've got an interesting route in that the second season is like entirely a prequel to the
Really?
first season. Yeah. So like in the first season, there's this one like the typical overpowered teacher, right? You know, like the
Yeah.
Kakashi of the of the series.
Right.
And in the movie, so in the first season, they keep mentioning like a student who's not present, right? But he's like also like really strong, you know. It's mentioned sort of, and then the movie sort of covers that student who's been missing the whole time. And now the season 2 is covering like the origin story of that teacher, and
Right.
also the origin story of the villain because they were friends in school together.
Oh, we're doing a Dumbledore.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that's exactly it. We're doing a Dumbledore Voldemort.
Sweet. I mean, yeah, I kind of thought I would be into Jujutsu Kaisen, but I think I burn out on shonen. Like, I've given up on Kimetsu no Yaiba. Kind of. It's just
Aw.
when the train arc ended, I was like, it's okay. I don't need to watch it anymore. It's fine.
You don't need to watch it more.
Same with what's it? What's the Hero Academy thing? My Hero Academia.
My hero.
Yeah.
Oh, I've stopped watching My Hero, but I've kept up with Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Yeah, the weird thing for me is I've never watched Demon Slayer at all.
Really.
I don't even consider myself a shonen fan. Like,
Yeah.
but for some reason, I ended up watching the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I was like, you know what, this ain't a bad show.
It is a. I mean, it might be the most popular short form anime of all time. In that it's not like a One Piece is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, actually,
Ratings wise, it's rivaling One Piece. Sometimes beating it. It's kind of crazy. People go nuts for it, especially in Asia. Just Japan, Korea, China. It's like you can't go anywhere without seeing lunchboxes, stickers, people wearing T-shirts of it.
merchandising.
That's how anime makes its money, you know. There must be a way to sell body pillows to people so we can have nice anime. That's basically the deal.
Yeah, everyone needs a body pillow in their life at some stage.
And then, you know, on the other end of that, I guess Jujutsu Kaisen's like the male side. We have got the Bunko Stray Dogs going towards the female spectrum of continuing anime.
So I've never ever watched any Bungo Stray Dog. Does anyone know what it's about?
I have watched some of it because I always try and watch a few episodes of anime, but it just no, it's just like a melodramatic kind of what's JoJo. It's like JoJo kind of,
Okay,
but a little bit toned down, a little bit more clamp version of JoJo.
Okay. Yeah, I see it's Studio Bones, so
Yeah.
sort of energy.
Oh, and on the second seasons, which I don't know if this is actually a second season of Mushoku Tensei.
I think it is. I haven't watched.
Well, it
I
says it's a
honestly-
second season, but we got like 15
Part 1 and
episodes.
2.
And then
Yeah.
part 1 and 2, yeah. So I mean, it's maybe. Maybe.
And look, I'm a little bit burnt out on isekais ish, but
Yeah.
I really did enjoy the first season of Mushoku Tensei. So I'll probably this one fell through my cracks. I actually missed that it was out.
Yeah.
Second season. So I haven't watched it yet, but it's definitely on my list of to catch up on.
So Yesh has opinions about this light novel.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to read it now because I don't believe him. And like sometimes like Yesh and my version of reality just they're not the same. And so I guess I understand where he's coming from with some of the stuff. And I guess he just doesn't really like some of that sort of stuff. But it's really not bad in the way he was saying it was bad. It's a lot of like life drama stuff happening after the adventure arc. So this is like he's like a teenager now, like a late teenager. Maybe he's like 16-ish in this.
Yeah, advanced in time.
He's looking for his mother this time instead of his father. So he's gone up to like Russia world.
Yeah, fantasy Russia.
And yeah, he's a terrible kind of person if you think about it too much. But it's kind of where he came from in his like neat shut-in kind of life. He has a lot of, frankly, like perverted hang-ups about things. So he's, he in the first series he stole a pair of underwear from Roxy.
Yeah.
He's built a little shrine. And he keeps it in that and prays to it. But yeah, he's having trouble like after what was her name? Iris left him kind of strangely. And yeah, they're just going through book 7 of the light novels now.
Okay.
Quite faithfully, I think.
So it's kind of lined itself up, like, because I've never read the light novels. Obviously, I've only ever watched the series. I'm assuming then the first series was books 1 to 6, or did they skip stuff?
There's some stuff they skipped, but they released some OVAs that cover it.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
I
I mean,
missed the OVAs.
obviously, like when you make an anime, not everything makes it through from the novel,
There's a cutting room floor.
Except maybe for Konosuba. But that's I would rather that they skipped through some stuff in Konosuba and we could have got through to some of the more like later stuff than just them doing the first like 4 novels over the course of 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, lots of content.
Apparently we're gonna get another Konosuba soon anyway, so we'll see how they go. Oh, and then this was Yesha's favorite anime of the season that it came out in.
Right.
The Eminence in the Shadow.
The Kage no...
Kage no Jitsu Rokusha ni narita kute.
I'm not even going to attempt.
Something strongman in shadow.
So, like, Jitsu Rokusha means actual power person.
Yeah.
So
I
the person
like a
with
strongman.
the man behind, the man behind things, right? What do you call that?
Yeah.
Like ruling from the shadows, sort of thing.
Yeah, like the advisor
Yeah.
in the shadows.
So it's like I became the man who rules from the shadows, sort of thing. It's so toxic. It's just like a power fantasy, and I guess is that what you need to get you through your day? Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
But,
So is this a like isekai?
Yes, but it's So the first episode started off so well, right? Because it looked like it took place in like modern Japan, and it looked like it was just going to be a guy becoming Batman.
Okay.
Like he was like a guy. He was like, I think he was literally reading Nietzsche or something, right?
Oh yes, I think I've seen a trailer for this.
Yeah. And he just like had like, he was carrying weapons around with him, and he wanted to be a cool Batman type anti-villain character. But yeah, so it starts off like that, and he does like some ground level heroing in the real world, and you think, oh great, this is going to be cool. Great, there's no magic, there's no anything. Gets hit by a truck.
Yeah.
And then it's just elves and slimes and magical trains, and I'm like, whatever. Just like 30-person horror.
Yeah, it's the isekai formula.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sometimes you like trash and rolling around it, it's fun.
And like sometimes that's just what you want to watch. You don't want to think too hard.
And to be fair, like the voice acting and the animation's pretty good. So.
Okay, so it has some redeeming qualities.
But speaking of great animation, Zom 100. Apparently, that's what we're calling this in English now. Oh, and in Japanese as well.
So
Yeah.
first
Bucket List
not-
of the Dead.
This is our first not sequel, right? This is our first new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's even a. I'm not sure if it's a light novel or not.
It is a light novel.
It's a light novel.
I've heard about it before.
Yeah.
It was released, but I haven't read it.
Yeah.
It's like a Japanese version of World War Z, the book. To the point where even I think we're even going to get we've even got some stuff that kind of happened in World War Z being parodied in this.
I can imagine that happening. Yeah.
Literally, the rugby ball on the Huda, right, comes from World War Z, drawing all the zombies away with loud noises and things like that. Yeah. It's. What did you think? You guys all watched it, right?
Yeah,
I watched the first two. Yeah.
I've only watched the first one, but it's definitely high on my list. Like, I quite like the concept of the whole corporate culture sucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that was hard to watch, I have to say.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, it is like it's great commentary of saying like a literal apocalypse is.
I don't have to go to work anymore.
Better alternative than what is currently a reality for a lot of people. Yeah, this is probably the top of what I've explored from the season so far.
So, yeah, so we're building up to like a 4-man band style road trip anime. To the point where I've gotten, because I'm just watching it on Netflix, which is usually a week behind the release date of things for some reason. Not sure why. They've built up 3 of the main characters so far, I think. And so we have, our guy who's just relieved the world is over and he doesn't have to go to his terrible, terrible job anymore.
And he's very good at rugby.
Yeah, and he's a
That's his like character.
That's his superpower.
Good at rugby and drinking beer.
Yeah.
Not to spoil too much, Greg, but there's a second man who's also very good at rugby.
Gasp. Okay.
That's his
Rugby
best friend.
players.
So they're going to use rugby powers / naked powers to avoid zombies.
Oh wow!
In an upcoming episode you may not have seen yet.
Okay, I'll look forward to it.
Because taking your clothes off apparently makes you run faster, right? That's just
because you're
logical.
lighter. That's just science.
Yeah.
And we've got Logical Girl, who's doing the opposite of him, who's taking everything very seriously.
A smart one.
Yeah. And then we have token Guy Kokujin character, I think.
Right.
But, it's someone that's good to look at is basically the job of the 4th character. It's fun. There's nothing... I mean, there's actually there's kind of some deep stuff here, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a commentary on modern work culture.
Yeah.
But it's something fresh. That's what I really like about it. It's not just another isekai. It's not just another fantasy tale. It's not like zombie tale. Like what was the last zombie anime we had? There was the high school one. What is it? High School of the Dead?
I mean, that was 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah, right. So it's not something that's told often.
Yeah, I mean, there was Zombie Girl as well.
That was very different energy, right?
Zombie Magical Transformation Girl as well. You get zombie animes. Oh,
yeah.
The hero is already dead was a zombie one technically, but not a zombie apocalypse one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm sort of going with the zombie apocalypse energy. That's quite rare for anime.
Yeah,
apocalypse is fairly common. Zombie apocalypse, not so much.
Yeah. And like a chaotic apocalypse is very rare in anime. Usually it's like the rest of the world's gone to shit, but
we've got a bastion of order here
in New Tokyo,
blah blah blah,
whatever. Let's build an Eva and defeat the angels.
Yeah, it's always the apocalypse occurred 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now we've got this bastion of order against this lawlessness that is around us.
They have destroyed the surface world, but literally under Japan, we've built a magical spaceship that is going to restore the Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's happened too many times.
I love it. Stop destroying itself. Right?
I mean, isn't that sort of what was happening in Nadesco, Space Battleship Yamato, Gundam,
Evangelion,
the one with the giant robot one.
Oh,
I can't
there's
remember.
so many, so many. And there was that one with global warming as well, with the eco
Oh,
carbon taxes and stuff. I
yeah,
can't even
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the colors and everything is just, it's great to
Mm.
watch. All the
Yeah.
blood has been substituted with, fun
Like
paintball paint. Which I think is just
wonder-
reflective of his state of mind more than anything.
I like just on that note quickly. I wonder if this is because they got together and were like, "Listen, this is going to look really bad if it's like changed for censorship in China.
All of this
Let's just
white.
make an artistic choice now, guys, so that we don't have to answer questions in a hearing later."
Yeah, for those who don't know, China changes all blood to white, which
Yeah. Like
is
stark white.
strange.
It makes for some very interesting screenshots. Let's
It
just put it
does,
that
yeah.
way.
Very easy for certain people to change things to the way they want them to be changed.
What's
Thereafter.
quite interesting though is like the need to censor things like that. I think it's more of an artistic, stylistic choice because there's shows like Chainsaw Man and stuff where it's just they're unabashedly just
Yeah.
the blood is everywhere.
So it'll depend at what time it airs on TV in Japan and what audience they're aiming it for. I mean, this is probably after Watershed, but for it to be full gore, it needs to be after 11 o'clock at night. So I think
Really?
they're aiming for like post 7 o'clock at night kind of
Okay.
audience. It's definitely an adult audience more than a
Yeah.
child
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, with that level of like work, kids will be like, I don't get it. What's so hard about his job? And all the adults just glare
Yeah.
at
Why is he
them.
so tired?
Yeah,
He should just get his mom to help him.
yeah.
Anyway, I like it. Pretty great. Definitely a strong recommend. My favorite anime is the next one though, of the season, which it's just called My Happy Marriage, and it comes off as a period drama. I would say like 18th century, late 18th century, like 1890s kind of time period. And it's just the first episode is tough to watch because it's just the main character being abused by her parents and siblings for the full runtime of the thing, and it's done in that kind of BBC period drama kind of way, where there's very little music. It's just a trudge, and then she gets kind of basically sold off by her father because they don't want her, despite the fact that she's the oldest daughter in the family. They like the second daughter, and they've basically turned her into like a servant in their household, which they're a very rich family. They already have servants. It's just like a mean kind of Dursley situation,
Yeah.
And then she gets sent off to the countryside to marry someone they have never met before. And it's for her, she's just kind of been broken to this point where she has like very little personality. She's just been taught to like do what she says. And like the other family is just not evil, right? So for her, it's like the greatest thing that's ever happened. And everything that happens that is just a normal day common nicety thereafter is just the most amazing kind of luxury for her. And it's kind of just heartwarming to watch after that first episode. But during the second episode, there was just a moment where I lost a lot of respect for the show because it turned out that the husband in the show is a military commander, but he's in charge of the mage battalion.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so this is also just a fantasy.
Yeah.
Because up to that point, it could have just been a historical drama.
Period. Yeah. Well, I don't know. You don't know if they had a mage battalion back in
Edo,
traditional.
Japan.
Were you there, Chris? Were you there?
Exactly. I'm pretty sure they had a mage battalion, and it
Yeah.
was just guys who like waved smudge sticks.
Pretty much, right? But I mean, ignoring that, it's just like a well not acted per se, but well drawn, well written, voice acted show. That's kind of different from everything else that's out this season.
That sounds promising. I like it. Actually slipped through my cracks, so I'm glad you brought it up, because that does sound like an interesting show compared to
Yeah,
some of the other.
I mean, after the first episode, it's just kind of it's like a relief. Everything's a relief in the show, and that's like a nice feeling. You know?
Yeah.
That's
cathartic.
that's a good captive audience right there. Just
Right.
torture them and then make it nice, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, this is such a good thing."
But I mean, it really makes you root for the main character. You know, you're completely on her side for everything after that. Anyway, moving on. I think. Horimiya. It's not a second season, which is disappointing to me.
Didn't watch this. I don't even know what it is.
So the first season is about a introverted guy who has like a weird aesthetic going on. So he dresses kind of like a serious nerd at school. And then when he's out of school, he's like got 1,000 piercings, dressed like a biker gang kind of terrorist dude.
Okay. All right.
And the main girl is it's just a romance anime, really. It's not worth going through the plot. But very good one. This is like, you remember Full Metal Panic, and then we got Full Metal Panic Fumofu.
Oh, right. Yeah.
This is just more of the first season interspersed in time periods they didn't cover in the first season. So
Okay.
it doesn't
so that's
advance
why
the plot at all.
disappointing for you, because you wanted the storyline to advance.
Yeah, I would have liked to have maybe like seen like them progress to like university at least or something. That would have been better. But
So
you know,
would you recommend the first season to someone who hasn't watched it?
yeah, it's pretty good. It's like a 6, 7 out of 10.
Okay. So
This is also really good. It's just maybe I don't know. It doesn't do anything.
It's a filler anime.
It's just sugar.
yeah. Candy floss anime.
There's no protein here. And they're remaking Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah.
It's interesting, yeah.
I haven't
There's
been able
also-
to watch any of it.
I'm too scared to.
I feel like I'm happy that they're remaking it so that like a new generation can appreciate it.
I'm just
But
I'm
at
just
the same
happy,
time,
yeah.
I've watched Rurouni in so many different formats over the years. It's all the same, and like it's a good story, but I know it, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm
At
not
least
really
it's
looking
not
at
a CG catastrophe.
it.
Well, what could you possibly be referencing?
I don't know. But, you know, they didn't stampede all over the property or anything like that.
Yeah.
They really tried hard and they didn't gun it. Anyway, I'll watch it eventually. I mean, obviously, the original is great, so maybe if you haven't seen the original, watch this and see if you like it.
Yeah.
This is great. Undead Girl Motor Farce.
I quite like this one. This was my first pick. Like when I was like, let me look at the new season, and I pulled up the list. I was
Interesting.
like, this is the first thing. I was like, okay, this is something I gotta watch.
What would you describe it as, Greg?
So it's essentially, okay, so it's feudal Japan, well, feudal like early
Late,
Japan.
like the Victorian era.
Yeah, Victorian era sort of, but with like vampires and like supernatural creatures existing in the world.
Yeah.
And it's like the animation was really fluid, like from what I've only watched the first episode so far.
Oh, okay.
And like I also feel like the characters were quite different from the typical sort of anime tropes.
Yes. Well, I mean, there are tropes there, but they're
tropes, yes, but they're not your like typical anime tropes. They're different anime tropes.
it's like Adam's Family anime kind of
Yeah,
characters.
exactly. Oh, that's such a good way of putting it. Yeah. Because
So
there is like weird, like, oh yeah, go ahead.
So it mostly takes place in France, actually.
Oh, okay. So that must be from the second episode onwards.
Yeah,
'Cause
the first episode is in Japan. That's where the characters kind of meet, right?
Yeah, yeah. They
And
get
so you've got
recruited
the half Oni guy. You have the remains of the undead main character girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she's
birdcage.
immortal. She can't be killed. But she's just a head because someone's
Yeah.
decapitated her.
Stolen her body.
So
And
many
then she
puns.
has
So
a
many.
rifle-wielding maid servant. Because, you know, of course, someone has to carry the head.
That's probably the tropiest of all three of them.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. But she's like a kind of a mean maid, kind of
Yeah, yeah.
battle maid, you know,
Battle maid.
like a 40k kind of maid. And then it progresses to Europe. So we're going to get most of it is going to deal with like a kind of a Dracula murder mystery, and then we'll get. I think we're going to get some Sherlock at some point. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to.
That would be nice.
I'm not sure how the. I mean, that's public, in the public domain at this point. So I think they can just have Sherlock Holmes in a story, even if it's
Literally Sherlock Holmes.
yeah. Not made by the company that publishes Sherlock.
Yeah. What company even is that? The Sir Arthur Conan Doyle company.
Penguin, technically, I think. Although, but I think anyone can just publish it because it is
Yeah.
public domain. So yeah, I mean, it's. Did you watch The Detective Is Already Dead?
Yes.
So that has similar kind of similar vibes to this, in that it's a famous, what do you call, super sleuth detective going and solving kind of weird paranormal activity cases, but except it's not a weird alien kind of plot or anything like that here. This is just supernatural stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And the detective in this case is just a head in a cage.
Yeah. With a like fighting maid and a brawling half Oni.
He's like Jekyll. He's like
if
if Hyde never had if Jekyll didn't have a Hyde, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
He's just the bad attitude of Hyde in the body of Jekyll.
Yeah, but with the strength of Hyde.
Yes, yeah.
He's Dr. Jekyll Hyde.
And maybe like the body like Lurch, kind of.
Yeah.
Like thin Lurch.
Yeah.
It's fun, yeah. I haven't watched the other one, Duke of Death and his maid. Shinigami.
Shinigami Bochan.
Tokurume.
Because it's second season, I also skipped it because I haven't watched the first one. I don't know.
Likewise, yeah.
So it's a mystery to us.
But I'm sure it's like
It's
all of the other
comedy,
mysterious maid
supernatural.
animes. That's a weird genre. Like, basically a wild maid appears and, you know, decides to serve your household. Is
And
the
look,
plot line of these
Clearly,
genres.
it's popular because it's got a second season and it's rated quite highly.
Yep.
So,
I actually need to just check if the voice actress for the maid. No, I'm wrong. Generally, it's the voice actress that plays Megumin's character. Takashi, yeah. Anyway, Sugar Apple Fairy Tale Part 2. You know who you are if you want to watch something like this. Probably don't need any recommendations.
it's true. You've probably had it on your wish list for the last like 5 years since it was announced.
You've been following their Twitter. Yeah. I don't think anyone needs to know anything more than that.
Yeah, the art looks interesting. It's an adventure fantasy romance. Part 2. Go watch part 1. If you like it, watch part 2. Demographic shoujo. Yeah.
Bang G Dream. It's my go. It's just a music group anime.
I skipped it for that very reason.
Sometimes they're good, like Bocchi the Rock. and that sort of thing. But this is more like an idol style one.
I was just about to say, the idols thing is not a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
For me.
Again, you know who you are because you bought a ticket to a concert already.
Yeah, fans of idols, it's waiting for you. Bang Dream, it's my go.
Next one, Dekiru Neko
This is-
This one.
Kyomo Yutsu.
Now,
It's so good, but out there, but good. I don't know what to think. I have complaints, but it's great.
Well, complain.
No, I mean, I just to start off, I think this is a great chill anime from the episode that I watched. Where if you're going through some like heavy stuff, maybe just watch this. It's gentle and lovely in like a very like routine kind of way.
For those of you who are wondering what it's about, though.
The giant cat that lives at home. The masterful cat is
Masterful
depressed
cat.
again today.
yeah,
So the main protagonist, the female protagonist, is sort of you still call him a salaryman, right?
No, she would be OL.
Oh yes, that's
Yeah.
right. There's a whole separate
Office lady.
category.
Yeah.
Office lady, yeah. But she has this giant cat that cooks for her and basically is a stay-at-home
does all the chores and
partner.
everything.
And cooks her delicious meals and keeps the apartment running while she's off at work, and gets annoyed at her when she gets home late because then dinner is cold.
So the Dekiru part of it is typically used with like Dekiru Onna would be like capable woman. So like you'd have either a person like a woman who's like who really knows how to do like cooking and that sort of stuff at home, or is otherwise masterful at something. So this is kind of, it's like a reverse gender kind of stereotype thing, except that's not true. It's just that there's a human-sized cat that lives with this woman in her apartment, and it for some reason it can stand on its back legs, it has opposable thumbs, and likes to cook and clean.
so
And
It has opposable thumbs. Like I noticed because I only watched the first episode. It like puts on gloves, and then that somehow makes it able to do like opposable
right,
thumbs.
yes.
Like
Take out the trash.
yeah, but
So-
I also
Be a good
love
neighbor.
how like everyone just sort of accepts it mostly.
Yes, right.
It's just like, oh yeah, there's this cat that's now human size, bigger than human size, bear size, as they comment.
Like
Exactly.
in that neighborhood, right? But at her work, it's a secret.
Well, no, it's not though. It turns out it's not, right?
Oh yeah, one of the boss guy, whatever, knows
Yeah.
something about it.
Yeah.
But he actually saw it when it was like smaller, so he doesn't know how big it's gotten since then.
But I also love
yeah.
that it's like standing up, doing human things, but then when at night when it sleeps like a cat,
Yes.
like in the bed,
Yeah,
Like on her lap.
like, jumps on her, to like get her up and stuff.
that's great.
So like what?
So
is
my
going
only
on?
complaint about it, right, is that the cat doesn't talk. The cat has a voice.
It has an
in
inner
terms
monologue
of-
voice, yeah.
He has an inner monologue voice. I totally
Loudly,
wanted.
in a monologue
I
voice.
wanted the cat to be able to talk so that he could chide her properly. I get what they're doing though, and I will still watch it. It's pretty good.
You know, I really like it. It's so dumb.
So
Exactly, and yet so great.
Yeah. Just with
but
the
they're
thumb
things.
the thumb thing. She keeps commenting on how are you using chopsticks? How is this working? How are you?
There is stuff to talk about in terms of the artwork though. So
yes, I was going to bring
now
that
the
up too.
CG I feel is passable for me. I know for Chris it can be a
No,
touchy
I mean-
subject. So I'm not sure. But they take a lot of interesting perspective shots that you might consider would be how cats would kind of view the world a little bit, because it's from either very low angles often or from very high angles. And sometimes they put on a fish lens effect, sometimes not. But the 2D art is, I feel, really, really good. And it's kind of odd that they put it in this kind of a show, but it
Yeah.
works.
Well, you know, no one actually knows what anime is going to do well. It's just not a thing anyone knows anymore because there's like 40 of them a season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like on the art note, like I was also quite impressed. Like a lot of the backgrounds and stuff you can see are photos that have been traced.
Real, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when they take a real world thing and
So
put
like the
that
office
in.
is really detailed and has like ducting and stuff that you would never see in a normal anime. Like nobody would bother drawing that ducting in.
The Japanese YouTuber I follow, he'll do like a this is how it actually is, and you can actually go to this office and think later. So
And then also there was like a TV show, and it was like real video TV show, like traced over, which
yes,
was really weird.
yeah.
Like real hands and stuff. But yeah, no, great. I love that it's a slice of life that's not a high school. It's like an off work slice of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. But
That's
there are a
way
few of those this season as well. Although this is definitely the better one.
Yeah, high on my list. We'll watch.
Moving on though, Dark Gathering.
Yeah, I
Dark
really like this.
Gathering. I thought it was a Magic the Gathering thing when I first saw it.
Evil Magic the Gathering.
So I think there are like 3 spoopy anime that really caught my attention this season. So Undead Girl Murder Fast, Zom 100, and this is probably the spoopiest.
I really enjoyed the first episode. It gave me the chills. Every now
Yeah.
and then.
So it's like very Halloween, right? The art is that like the combo of that like cutesy but spooky style, and I like that. So
She
I'll
is
give
so
this a go.
terrifying. I that is a soul-eating child there
Yes.
With the skull eyes.
with the skull eyes and
Yeah.
her menagerie of trapped souls and dolls that she lets watch her sleep at night. It's so creepy. But
Yep.
the real thing that's creepy is they use like a moe gap, which is like something serious happens to counteract the cuteness of a moment. I don't know, the kind of older sister character. Every
Yes,
now
yes.
and then her mask of decency just drops.
Yes, and she's the
She's just there's
creepiest
just like a
for,
sociopath
like, a moment.
underneath that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Those like dead eyes.
dead eyes, and she says, "Your pain is so delicious to watch."
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, and she was like, they keep kind of like sort of representing her as like the love interest to the pro tag every now and then, but she's just like
Forcing
pushing
him
him,
to do
down this
terrible
like
things.
road of horror, and she's like smiling in a Genki way. And you're like, hang on a second, there's something here. The little girl, like from the get go, you know what's up with her, but what's up with this other? Yeah, that's very good.
It's good. It's not. It hasn't crossed the line into complete horror at any point, though.
No, I think like a big selling point is that it's gonna have that cutesiness that helps
Yeah, it's.
blend the flavor. a bit.
I don't think it's going to have a Madoka moment. You know.
Yeah.
It's which is great because it's gonna if it maintains the vibe it's got going for it. It's got that. I don't know. It's got that something, that je ne sais quoi, that a good horror should probably have.
Yeah, I've only really seen similar stuff in like Western animation. It's like Can't
Yeah,
remember
I mean
what the
it's.
series was called now.
I don't really.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move
But
on.
it's got that combination.
There's Helic.
Hmm.
Heruku.
So I didn't get a chance to watch this, mostly because I didn't find anywhere that was easily streamable.
I had to buy a channel on Amazon to watch this.
Right.
What?
So, Anime Times is the name of the channel if anyone wants to buy it.
Okay.
If you get D-Anime and Anime Times, you can basically watch any anime on Amazon, without going to like the dark parts of the web.
Yeah.
It has an interesting premise. I don't think the first episode was particularly like well put together or particularly compelling. But so the demon lord's been defeated in the world, and the humans are celebrating. Meanwhile, in the demon world, because apparently they didn't invade that and destroy it for some reason, the demons are choosing their new leader, and they do this by a martial arts competition.
Right.
and it's going very well.
So starting off with the tournament arc.
Exactly. It's going very well and it's progressing. But the only problem is the person that's winning is a human.
Right. Is that
called
Helic?
Haruka. Indeed. I mean, it has that's a great premise for a show. And it looks exactly like the 1990s Conan the Barbarian cartoon. So there's many things to love about this. I've only watched the first episode. I will maybe give it more of a chance than that. It just didn't grab me.
Well, I mean, you bought a whole channel for it. You might as well watch the rest.
Well, the channel came with other anime, you know? So, anyway.
Oh no.
Oh, well.
Jeff Bezos appreciates your patronage. Thank you.
Oh, thankfully, it's in yen, which is real weak right now. So
Good.
it's a great time to buy that channel.
Fair.
Monogatari. Sorry, Mono no Gatari. It's not to do with Bakemonogatari. Just in case anyone is wondering. It's like a murder thriller supernatural kind of thing. I did not like the first season. It was just kind of gross. People's skulls being smashed and, you know,
Yeah, unnecessary
violence. Yeah.
brutal violence.
But it's about animating inanimate objects, which is why it's Mono no Gatari. I guess it was popular enough to get a second season.
Yeah, I never watched the first season, so I didn't bother watching the second now.
After that, though, we've got Shiro Seijo to Kuro Bokushi. This I quite like.
This is the one with the saint and the pastor.
Exactly. It's like if Father Ted could have a family kind of thing. Yep. So Bokushi is father, right, in Japanese, and it just literally means like livestock herder. I guess shepherd. They translated shepherd directly.
Shepherd,
You know. Interesting Japanese trivia for the day. It's cute. It's I don't understand the premise of this universe or why the holy lady is in a rural village in the middle of nowhere with this pastor that she has a crush on.
So that the plot can happen.
So that the plot can happen. Because money.
Okay then.
But it's pretty fun to watch. Nothing to write home about though. It's just cute moments.
It's quite light-hearted. Like,
I don't know this next one. I assume it's the second season.
Nikun no Revenge R.
I assume the R designates it's not the first one. Of
Yeah,
the
well, I mean, you've got to go from A, right? So
exactly. Yeah, that's how it looks.
the 18th one or whatever. What's R in the alphabet? Yeah, I didn't watch this either, so I don't know if we want to. Something comedy romance, trip to Paris, harem school.
Oh, I watched the first 5 minutes of it. Right.
Oh, okay.
It was just they were at the Louvre, you know, looking at art and
Yes, you
such. Then my mind gave up and I watched something else. So.
Bounce.
Probably for the
Pretty
best.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
This one
It
I
definitely does.
haven't found. It hasn't popped up in my feed, so it looks like something I'd like though, because I like the villainous ones. It's always nice to have a contrast there every now and then.
Yeah, it seems like the current, like
Trend. Yeah.
trend. Thank you. Is villainous reincarnations like?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just-
I watched
yeah.
one good one and I'm done now. I don't want to get involved with another.
There was a
like-
really good one last
done.
season. Though I can't even remember the names. How good could it actually be?
No, that's how good it was. It's just purged from my memory.
But yeah, no. I'll if I remember, I'll give this one a watch. Okay. This one I have not seen.
Although I suppose we didn't say the name out loud.
Oh yeah.
The most heretical last boss queen, from villainess to something.
Yeah.
No Genkyo となる最強。Get all last bus. 女王は民の
Villainous to savior is the
My
last word there.
word.
Yeah, that's
Like no one sat down with people and were like,
that's
guys,
how
we
it's
need a
used to
3-word title. 3-word title. 3-word title.
It's an isekai. It needs to at least be 3 lines of text.
we can't afford a like a cover picture for the light novel. Just write a longer title. We'll cover it up.
Yeah, we'll have to buy half the art.
Next one, I don't know anything else about Genjutsu no Yohane. Sunshine in the Mirror.
Yeah, I didn't.
I guess we're skipping that. It
Something
looks
something fantasy
Scenic Portal.
based off a web manga. That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. I guess
Got
if you're a fan
little
of
girls
that
with
particular
spirit
web
dogs.
manga, this is something you're gonna want to watch.
Fairy girls and spirit dogs.
Oh, speaking of web manga, there's an adaptation from Chinese to Japanese of it's called The Daily Life of Gods. They're Chinese gods. It's previously, like last year, there was one called Bansegai, which is All Saint Streets in English, which is about Western godlike characters, angels, demons, werewolves, living in an apartment in Shanghai. This one is about like Chinese kind of mythical characters. And there's like one crossover character. It's the Kitsune girl, who's the main character of Daily Life of Gods. Anyway, those are good web comic adaptations. Another season of Kanojo Okori Shimasu.
Rent a
It's a
girlfriend.
girlfriend season 2.
Yeah, by now, you either know it or you don't know it.
Or you've successfully managed to ignore it up to this point.
Yeah. I'm in the ignore category at the moment. I think I'll stay there.
I'm sure Guguk will have a review of it available very shortly.
He's quite a fan. Go and watch his review.
Suki no ko ga megane no wasureta. The girl I forgot. The girl I like forgot her glasses.
The girl I like forgot her glasses.
Sorry,
Not the
I
girl
was in
like so
Japanese
far.
grammar mode, I guess. This is cute. It has the worst animation in the world, though.
Yeah,
It's
that's unfortunate.
the actual drawing art is pretty good, but there's background CG animation, and it's the kind that irritates me. Dylan was saying like I don't like CG. I don't mind bad CG. It's when the frame rate is wrong with the rest of the show that it pisses me off. Like we were watching Fate Zero with Yash, right?
Yes.
It wasn't that it was bad. It's just that it wasn't the same frame rate as the rest of the animation in the show.
It does have this thing where they drop frames with CG for some reason, and
Yeah.
it's like just looks like the thing is glitching out.
I think it's because Kadokawa only has one floor of CG in their building, and they can't build another floor. You know, God forbid they rent some server space elsewhere.
Studio
you know.
Gohans. I've never even heard of them. Who's Studio Go?
Yeah, there are a lot of new studios. Well, I mean, I don't know if these guys are new, but there's a lot more studios now. So
Yeah, well, 40 anime a season.
Yeah, fair enough.
But-
The industry's booming.
it is.
But it's a high school. It's like Takagi-san, but high school kind of. It has a girl who looks mean when she doesn't wear her glasses, and the gag of the thing is she always forgets her glasses somehow, and she can't see at all without them. So it's just cute things happening in those sort of circumstances. It's a
How they're going to
pretty
keep that up for 13 episodes, I do not know.
well, we got 3 seasons of Takagi and a movie. It's probably doable. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, nothing amazing.
Yeah.
But
I think it'll be quite popular though.
yeah.
For reasons I don't like. One of the things she does is like she starts trying to like call a cat in the street, and like pat it, but it's actually just a plastic bag waving in the wind. That's how bad her like eyesight. There's going to be lots of really cute moments like that people are going to be able to post to Instagram and stuff.
Right.
So it's going to be quite popular.
Infinitely memeable.
Yeah. Spy Classroom.
Yeah, I remember when the first season of this came out, but I never. I watched like
the
one
first
episode
season.
and then forgot.
I watched a few episodes of the first one and then bounced, so I wasn't going to continue with season
The
2.
male protagonist character is just so unlikable. He's not like a normal kind of power fantasy thing. He's just like the guy. He's the super spy who's teaching these spies to be a good squad. But he has no. It seems he has no actual human feelings. He's
a sociopath.
not a sociopath, but he's like he's like a Vulcan, right? Which is not the same thing. Like he's not lacking the ability to have emotions.
Yeah, he's
just repressing them.
Emotions, yeah.
And that's counteracted by a lot of like the 7 ditzy girls, or 7 or 8 ditzy girls in the thing. And the thing is that they've all failed out of their respective like jobs in training for intelligence. And he's like, well, this is an impossible mission. I'm the spy who does impossible missions. I'm going to train these idiots to be an effective team.
Right.
And this is the second season of that.
Yeah. So clearly they failed at the impossible mission if they needed a second season.
They always bungle through the mission in the end, I think. They do fail a lot. This one's good. Level 1, Mao to 1 room, Yusha.
I heard about this one, but I didn't get a chance to watch it because I couldn't find it. This is the one where, like, the demon lord gets defeated, and then the hero, like, just kind of retires and becomes a hikikomori or something.
Exactly. So the main portion of this takes place 10 years after the hero kills the demon lord, right? Mm-hmm. And being that the demon lord is an immortal being, this doesn't, in fact, end the demon lord. It just reincarnates the demon lord, and as a 10-year-old child. Which I don't know if he was definitely a male demon lord in the beginning, but he's like a little girl in his reincarnated form. So maybe
reincarnation,
yeah. And he doesn't have the subordinate demon lord lady that's wearing the swimsuit, the office with the tie, the office swimsuit.
Yeah, formal wear swimsuit.
She says over time the demon lord's power like accrues. So, they get stronger the longer they live, kind of thing, like a dragon or whatever. Mm-hmm. Right now, 10-year-old powerful demon lord can only do so much. Can fly a bit, transform into other, humanoid creatures, that sort of thing. And the hero has kind of just let his life fall apart in the intervening period. So he's living in one room in like a rundown apartment block. And, he goes to parks and he drinks during the day. Keeps his, like, magical sword, just leaning up against the wall in his bedroom. Leaves it there. He doesn't even take it with him. And so the first thing when the Demon Lord regains their memories of their past life, it's like, I need to go and find this person who killed me and avenge myself. Gets to the apartment, gets like a mad evil genius speech on, and then they're like, could you come back another day? I haven't cleaned up the room. I'm just not feeling it today.
Yeah, I'm not feeling like having any visitors.
Yeah. And ends up kind of taking pity on him and like kind of moving in and sort of becoming his inappropriately aged girlfriend, I guess, somehow.
Anime.
Although maybe not. That's maybe not a fair description of what this is. I think the woman in the swimsuit is the love interest, so to speak, in the show. And there's just like a ghost that lives in the apartment with him as well.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. It's fun. I like it.
Gonna watch more?
Yeah, for sure. I'll watch it.
Where are you watching it on? 'Cause I
Amazon
couldn't-
Prime.
Amazon Prime. Oh, I've got Prime. I didn't even look there.
I have Japanese Amazon Prime though, so I'm not sure if it's on
maybe that's
all
fine.
Amazon Primes.
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't know what Singularity Noir is.
Oh, I watched that one, so I can help you.
Yay.
I don't know if you watched it, Dylan, or all.
No, I
Uh,
was curious, but the way they did the AI stuff kind of made me bounce.
yeah. So, like, I'm always a massive sucker for like mecha anime and stuff. So I sought this one out. There's this typical, you know how earlier we were talking about how there's always an apocalypse and like, no, it's been 20 years and now we've made bastions of peace or whatever.
Yes.
So that's the setting. So it's a little bit cliche. The mecha designs are weirdish in that they're like kind of like heads with arms and legs.
Oh yeah. I watched the preview for this.
Yeah. So I don't know how happy I am with those, but who knows?
Maybe it'll do like a Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, where the head becomes a proper mech at some point.
It's possible, but I doubt it. The whole premise is that like the pilots need an AI sort of generally like, but AI isn't an android character to pilot with them so that they can pilot effectively. And in the first episode, there's like these scavenging teams that go out into the ruins of humanity and scavenge like these weird crystals for money. And they find one of the like solo scavenging teams finds this android that's just like powered down called Noir, hence the name Singularity Noir. It gives me sort of Macrossy energy as a show.
I think we're getting a new Macross pretty soon.
Yeah, well, I could do with a good Macross. Because this is like Macross Light. Well, this is Macross from Wish.
Oh, okay.
Wish.com Macross.
Because there is like the whole like the androids are sort of like give them inspiration and stuff. I'm just waiting for them to break out into song.
please make it out of Macross. Anyway.
And the alien sort of creatures are sort of like mediocre CGI. So like it's an okay show. I wouldn't put it like high on the list of you've got to watch it, but if you're looking for something like the problem is last season we had a Gundam, you know, like and
yes,
I'm like
a great
Gundam
Gundam.
high.
Yeah.
And now this is what they give me as my next mecha anime, and I'm like,
Is
guys.
that the only Gundam in like a main storyline, not like a toy Gundam thing, that has had like a legitimately happy ending with like very few character deaths, you know?
Like there's a lot of it depends what you consider happy
Well, I mean,
and what you consider an ending.
it had like a happily ever after, right?
Yeah, it's true. They had like a sort of retirement shot.
Yeah, very few people were maimed or killed.
Even the bad guys retired and wore like jerseys.
Yeah, like the Bene Gesserit woman is what I thought of
the
them
Bene
as.
Gesserit women. Retired and wearing old person jerseys in the retirement home.
The south of France kind of having tea.
But
Anyway.
yeah, so duality, maybe, I don't know, I'll keep, like, I always have a thing where I'll watch the first 4 episodes before I pass full judgment. But I might struggle to get to the 4th episode.
Right.
We'll see.
There should be a good mecha coming out soon.
Yeah, we can only hope. We can only hope.
Called Bullbuster. Look out for that.
Okay, I'll keep it on my list.
I don't know what this next thing is about. Hatsuroku Mouse Summer Season 2. Because that's already happened. Maybe we're getting a part 2 of Season 2?
Season 2 sequel, it says in the title.
Yeah. So
So
I
it's a sequel to
I
Season
don't know what this is about. The first time I've heard anything or seen anything about this is today. It makes sense why this has popped up in like the most watched stuff of recent times on like streaming services. So maybe something's coming out. Season 2 was okay. So
Yeah,
I'd like it to
watched
continue.
Season 2, actually.
It's like a like the first season was like a Tokyo apartment McDonald's season.
Yeah, I watched that one.
This one they're kind of working at a beach hut that sells like shaved ice and that sort of thing.
Yeah, swimsuit episode, but season.
Yes, yeah. Something like that. But yeah, pretty good still. And they have a baby now. You can see the little girl there.
As you do.
She may or may not be their actual baby. They don't remember how that could be.
Unclear.
Yeah.
It's like very Buffy.
Yeah. I mean, when you're the demon lord and you're the mystical hero, stuff happens, You don't keep
Buffy.
track of everything that's happening to you.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Temple.
Tenpuru.
Tenpuru.
I did not watch this.
I watched the first episode. It's an ecchi harem anime. I don't like.
It says what it says on the tin.
I may or may not watch more of it. It's funny. It's ecchi.
I like it. It is funny.
I like that the main character is trying to avoid women, and yet like genetically he's a perv.
Yeah, his dad is a
That's like-
famous porn star, all right.
Yeah. And so he's like constantly trying to like take himself out of situations and then sort of watching in horror as he does like anything to get back into being in and around hot young women.
So, like, in the first episode, he's completely celibate. He's going to live a life of, like, simplicity. And he encounters a cute girl, and he goes, his genes activate, and he goes insane, right?
Yeah,
So he's like, I'm going to do something about this. I'm moving out to the countryside. There's an old monk that has a temple.
there are no
and
women there.
No women there. I'm going to sit under a waterfall and meditate. Turns out that temple is full of cute girls.
Of course.
Yeah, it's been
Why
it's
wouldn't
been
it be?
converted to
Like a
convents
nun.
for nuns, yeah. But also like the most lewd nuns, so I don't really.
Well, they've been living out in the
that.
wilds.
Yeah,
for
right.
Yeah,
some
must
time,
be, must be. But yeah, like so this is one of those things that I might not advertise that I'm watching, but it is funny.
Too late.
And it
I'm
is
sorry.
sexy.
Well, look, I like so initially I skipped this just because I glanced over it as it's just going to be this typical like ecchi stuff. But
I
the
mean,
fact
it
that he's
kinda
trying to
is.
resist it, the fact that he's like, because normally it's like there isn't that element of
Yeah.
resistance.
Yeah, it's like the
That's probably what
meek
makes it,
protagonist that kind of everyone's falling over
Exactly, it's
themselves.
just painful.
Yeah, like he literally like he starts to like have like
Imagine-
impulses and then he punches himself in the face.
It's like Love Hina, but all the girls are
Yes.
actually out to get him.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
yeah.
Worth watching if you're in a particular mood. I am actually the strongest. Question mark.
Reincarnated in another world.
Isekai, I turned left.
Look, I'm
I
allowed
like it.
one isekai a season, and
No.
I didn't pick this one, so
No, Isekai too much.
Uh-huh. Oh, is this
So,
the one I watched?
tell us
No, I
about
can't
it.
remember. No, this is not the one I watched.
what's
God,
his
I'm-
cheat power? Oh, we
None
don't
of
know what
us
his cheat power is now.
None of us have watched it. We need to move on from Isekai, please, people. Please move
Okay.
on from this.
Yeah, okay, this is just going to be another one of the cheap hour things. I have yet. I've probably watched like 10 minutes of it and then forgotten about it. I might come back to it and give an update if it's any good. Liar Liar is one of like the hits of the season in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Even
was meaning
Kevin of
to-
previous
I was-
episode Fave
I
has
was
been
meaning
watching
to
this.
watch it, and then I just didn't get around to it.
As far as I'm concerned, it seems quite bad.
Well, it's that whole like one of those shows where it's like playing the mental games, I guess.
I quite like those shows generally, but this is all of the mental games are out in the open after the first 20 minutes of this, so it's
So it's
not
like
really
dumb
doing that very
games.
well.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Liar Liar part is the protagonist is like a transfer student from another school, and the school has like a battle system where you can play virtual games against other people to gain status for some reason. I don't know.
You know, that's how all Japanese schools work. don't you?
Could be. I've never been to Japanese school. Yeah. All the students seem real stressed, so you know.
Yeah, look, from all the animes I've watched, that is how Japanese schools work. So
True. Yeah, that's true. And this guy gets involved. So the girl he encounters in the first thing, they actually have a cute meet kind of thing, meet cute. That's the right way to say that. And they're like, he's like on the verge of asking her out on a date, right? And then a sprinkler system goes off at a very inappropriate time and like humiliates her. And so she's like, you planned this, because obviously it's like a weird battle school, Like, you've done this to throw me off my game. And she challenges him to a duel. But it turns out she's an imposter. She's not the person who she says she was. But he still manages to kind of luck out and beat her. And that engages him in some weird subplot where he's got a red star, which is a liar's star, instead of a gold star, which is a legitimately earned star or something like that. And so the principal involves him in another weird conspiracy.
Okay.
And so he has to get like 7 real stars, but he has to pretend he already has 7 stars the entire time.
Jeez. Okay.
Something weird like that.
So sounds like a lot of hoops to jump through.
And then like the girl from the beginning kind of accosts him in an alley and like confesses her whole like plot to him. He's like, "Oh geez, I didn't know that. You probably shouldn't have done that." And so all of like the lies are out in the public, and everyone knows everyone else is lying at this point. So I don't know what the plot is.
At this stage, and you're too afraid to ask.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
could be fun.
it could resolve itself beautifully.
I assume the lying just gets worse every episode, right? That's basically what
it
it's
could
gonna
also
be.
just devolve into madness, which is possible.
Reign of the 7 Spellblades.
I missed this one.
I watched the first episode.
too.
It's very Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Battle Harry Potter. It's
Battle Harry
imagine
Potter.
if Hogwarts was a dangerous place to be, Greg.
So, okay, right.
I mean, it is
Training battle with
yeah. More
Yeah, that's
serious,
true.
a more serious, dangerous place to be, not just a dangerous
The
place to be
teachers
with
actually
kids.
took the danger.
So the headmaster comes on the stage and is like, okay,
So,
only
life
20% of
podcast.
you will make it out of here alive.
We'll live, yeah.
Yeah.
He means pass, right? He means pass. No, he
No,
doesn't.
no.
Yeah.
Well, he does, but also not.
Yeah. Pass into continuing to be alive.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was bouncing pretty goddamn hard, and then they did something really annoying, which is they put in the sort of like
Yes.
mystery element to it.
Yes.
And the fact
know,
is
right?
that makes me like it even less, because now I want to see the second episode, but I have to now, like, in order to deal with that, I would then have to deal with the show that I don't really like, and I just want to throw my hands up in the air and just like storm out of the building.
So
And read the Wikipedia article in a month's time.
I might just do that, because you know what, stuff these guys. I mean, really.
it's very much
Don't
one
put
of
in the
these
good
things
stuff
is
at
not
the
like
end.
the other things. One of these
Yeah.
European wizards is a samurai.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's literally just a girl in like traditional Japanese samurai kind of things that shows up. The world is not actually like an Earth-like world, so she's from like mystical Eastern continent or whatever.
Yeah. The Eastland.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it is very like that.
And someone tries to kill her and forces her into the school. La, 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 la. It's fine. It's an interesting kind of take on the whole Hogwarts thing. I think Japanese people really like Harry Potter to the
Yeah.
point where
Well, I could tell from watching Muscle last season.
yeah. I mean, they have Harry Potter theme parks in Japan, and people are really into it, and they can't engage with Western controversy, so they're unaware of things. So it's even better if you're Japanese, probably. And so we have a lot of Harry Potter themed things. This is like Battle Royale Harry Potter
Yeah.
with a samurai.
Okay. So I'm getting mixed messages on whether or not I should be watching this.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it'll be. I mean, I think there's probably like 7 or 8 things better than this season to watch.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe if you run out of stuff to watch,
Yeah.
you feel like a fantasy anime.
Yeah. If you want serious Harry Potter with mystery elements, this probably will be down your alley. If you don't really like, I mean, if you're like me and you're bouncing hard on the first episode, probably just skip it.
I don't think I could watch this one because the animation was weird. Yeah, it's just a bunch of maybe unrelated stories
Are you talking about Aino
about
or
AI.
Davinci?
No
So
identity.
I quite like this one. Because I quite like the sort of philosophical AI
Yeah.
discussions that it's covering, right? The sort of ship of Theseus of AIs.
If you replace the processor and the motherboard, it's still the
Exactly.
same computer.
Yeah, if you upload the same personality and it's into a completely new body, is it the same person kind of thing? So I've only watched the first episode so far, but like I am intrigued.
I don't think they're related. I don't think the episodes are related to each other.
Okay, they're like standalone episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can see why they would do that as well, because they want to cover these sort of different philosophical debates of each, like the process of replacing humans with machines and machines with humans, and
Yeah.
because it's set in a world, for those who don't know, the gene of AI or AI no Denshi is like, in the world 10% of the population are now like artificial people, I think it was.
Okay.
So this, well, at least in the first episode, the main character. So there must be an underlying storyline, because there's this whole storyline of like the main character being one of the first ever like genetically modified children, but his mother gets arrested. Well, no. So his mother signs up for like AI duplication of herself
Okay.
as a payment for the gene editing of her child, right?
Strange.
And then her cloned personality, I think, commits a crime. It's kind of unclear because I've only watched the first episode. But she ends up getting arrested, or going missing, because now there's copies of her running around. So
Don't
it's
you hate it when
unclear-
that happens?
Yeah, it's unclear
Yeah.
what crime was committed and who's technically responsible for the crime. But now there's an AI version of his mother in prison, but he sort of doesn't treat her as his real mother, which is interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, so that we'll see where that goes.
Wow.
Yeah, see, philosophical.
Yeah, sure.
If your mother got copied and put in a robot body and then arrested for a crime, would you go and visit her in prison?
Probably
The
not.
AI version?
This is a script for something that I really don't want to know about. Let's turn left. Let's turn left.
The next one is a game property that's been adapted into an anime about a little island with some characters who want to become adventurers. The main girl wants to become an alchemist.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for this. And I was very underwhelmed.
Ryza no Eltelia.
I guess it's aimed at people who play the game.
I think so.
Yeah, I got the feeling that it was like an adventure anime. You know.
It's very game-like because, in the first episode they go to a starter area, get beaten by some slimes.
Literally, yeah.
The second episode they collect some stuff and report back to a building.
To the Adventurers Guild, what?
The third
unique.
episode is a new area opens up. And like, I
They're
don't,
really breaking ground.
I don't know. The fact that there's always a game anime adaptation really, really amazes me.
I suppose it forms like a sort of extended advert to go and play the game.
Yeah, no,
So-
it's true.
That's where they get the budget for it. Is like, people will watch our anime and want to play our game.
I guess if you played the game, maybe it doesn't feel like that. You're like, oh, I remember doing that. I remember collecting footy herbs to turn into a potion.
Oh, that's the starter area. So great. Like, if they ever made like World of Warcraft the anime, I'd go and watch it, because I'd be like, oh yeah.
I mean, they
I
made a
remember when I
movie.
was-
How did you feel
Oh,
about that?
that what didn't cover the World of Warcraft. That was just Warcraft, right?
That's
Warcraft,
true.
yeah.
Actually, that's true. Yeah.
If they did World of Warcraft as a game, like as if they were characters in a game,
Pick 10 flowers,
what's the heck out
return
of that?
back.
get some ball pelts, sort of,
Yeah. That
I'd be
that
like,
is how it feels, though. I don't hate it though. I mean, it's kind of fine.
Not too horrible.
Not too horrible. At least 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
This one, I thought I would like. I feel weird about it though. It's Uchi no Kaishu no Chisai Senpai no Hanashi.
Yeah, I watched the trailer and it actually put me off. Like, it seemed
Yeah,
a bit
likewise.
harassy.
So there was a previously, right? We had My Giant senpai is annoying.
Yeah.
So we had a small girl with a giant like guy as a office romance thing. That was fun. That was a great anime.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the reverse of that. This is the kohai is the tall dude, and the
tiny
senpai is the small girl. But she has like a very soft personality, which is like a strange. I don't know. There's like a strange feeling in this that makes me
From
feel
the
uncomfortable.
trailer, like the energy I got was that she's very like soft and reserved, but has this like really strong crush on him and is doing lots of like weird things.
Like sensual, provocative things.
Yeah.
Not really though. I mean, she's like very proper. She obviously has a big crush on him, right?
Yeah.
Which she thinks it's inappropriate because he's like the younger colleague at the office.
I mean,
But that's kind of resolved by like the third or fourth episode. So
Does he get older?
no, they just go through with stuff.
Right. Okay.
But it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I have a terrible job at an office. Oh, these people are having fun at office. Maybe this is my fantasy.
Yeah.
Imagining my office job isn't terrible. I don't like it though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's low down on the list for me.
The Dreaming Boy is a realist? I don't know this one.
The Dreaming Boy is a realist. I haven't even heard of this.
I watched the trailer for this, and it was gonna be basically like, it seemed to kind of give me the vibes that it was going to be this lost in communication kind of never-ending edging romance, high school romance anime or middle school romance anime, and it's I'm not interested in it. So like the protag kind of starts to hang out with a girl that he likes or whatever, and then at some stage then like kind of comes to the weird realization that she's too good for him, and so he distances himself from her, and then she feels like down. and you know what I mean. I'm like,
a bad lesson.
I don't want to know about this anime. Thank you. Next.
Misunderstanding anime. Sometimes those are fun. Like Gamers was great. Maybe this will be great too. Don't know if we're gonna watch it. There's too much stuff to watch.
I mean, if we've like canned something that you think is really great, I mean, feel free to respectfully put that in the comments as to why.
Yeah, and tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah.
And use as offensive language as you can. It would be fun to watch what the filter section does to that. Okashi na tensei. Sweet reincarnation.
No,
so this is our next isekai with Patissier.
Yeah. I fell asleep during the first episode of this.
Okay, I didn't even watch it because, like I said before, I'm only allowed one isekai, and we haven't gotten to it yet.
Right.
Oh, I suspect I know which one.
Anyway, I thought this might be like Yakutaki Japan or something like that.
Yeah.
It's more like the pharmacist reincarnation anime.
Oh, right.
God, I hate that. That's a
Right.
very good thing too. But it's nothing, right?
Yeah.
This is like this got published as part of the algorithm by Kamikawa.
It was inevitable it would be like released.
People like sweets and isekai.
And isekai. We must make at least 40% of our anime isekai.
I mean, the way he died was interesting. He was crushed by his own sugar creation at a competition.
Okay. That's part of my favorite part about because they're always going more and more like crazy with
Extreme.
the deaths.
It would be great if like Tokyo gets nuked or something as the opening to an isekai, and there's just 40 million reincarnated people.
Yeah, everyone at once. Yeah, and they're all heroes with OP skills.
Oh God,
I would watch that show. 40 million.
You're welcome, isekai people. Go nuts.
Population of Tokyo.
It's like 38 million, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 13 million. So 13 million heroes are reincarnated.
Right.
Is the title.
Okay. Yeah.
All with OP skills. Right, the light novel today.
Classroom for Heroes. EU Kyositsu.
Yeah, I watched this one actually this morning with my breakfast cereal.
Yeah.
It was very mid.
It was, wasn't it?
Generic fantasy McFantasy world. The hero is overpowered. He goes to a school. He used to be a great hero, but like fought the big bad and then lost his powers somehow. Unclear. I think because his hair is two colors, he is now the hero and the bad guy combined.
They need to introduce like
kind
a
of
card game or
anime
something to
tropey.
it to make it worth watching.
Yeah. Each episode, it's harem-y. Each episode seems to be there's powers that blow women's clothing off. You know.
Yeah. They're better etchies.
Yeah, there's better etchies apparently. So if you've got an etchy slot open, rather go
Tenpu.
go watch Tempuru instead, and then come back to this one if you want weird, overpowered heroes with mega sword skills in episode 1.
There's a Shadowverse, another one of them. Enough said about that.
7 Shadows Hand.
Moving on to Greg's
How did you
one
know this was the
isekai.
one that I
I had two suspected.
I just knew, Greg. Deep down inside, I was like, okay, this is the one.
if
Because
you were going to pick one.
Greg, do you know why?
What?
Because I was tempted, but
Yeah.
it's an isekai, so hard turn left.
Oh,
No,
okay.
fuck it.
So for those listening, this is reborn as a vending machine.
Jido
And now under the
Hanbaki.
dungeon.
Umare Haruwa Kwata no Ore wa Miki no
Yeah,
Sama
yeah,
yo.
yeah. Good luck.
Oh,
Good luck.
Why is it so long?
So speaking of, because it's an isekai. So speaking of isekai deaths, like they do a fake out and make you think he's gonna die to the truck, but instead there's a vending machine on a truck, and like he speeds up his bike because the vending machine breaks off the truck.
Yeah.
And he speeds up his bike to try and save the vending machine and ends up dying. So for his like kindness to vending
Forgot
machines,
about
because he's
that.
a vending machine fan, he's like that's his like hobby.
Yeah.
Whilst he was alive, he really loves vending machines. So he gets reincarnated as one in a fantasy world.
I mean, of course this exists. Of course this
Ironically,
exists in this
me and
world.
Dylan have been talking about vending machines for the past few weeks. On and off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I've only watched the first episode, but it's the typical thing. He doesn't have a broken skill. Like that's clearly what makes it different.
He literally can't move.
Yeah, he literally can't move.
He can only say vending machine rote
phrases,
lines.
yeah, like "irashaimasen" and stuff like that.
Irashaimasen.
And arigato, you know, sort of.
In that robotic like musical.
Yeah,
sound.
exactly. And he has to sustain his life force because, like, he's got like a point count of like 1,000 points.
Yes.
That he starts with, and every I think it's hour he uses one for power. So if he doesn't get people to pay more money into his machine, he'll die.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, he makes a lot of coins, so it's. at
Yeah.
this point, it's-
He very
yeah.
quickly figures out like what skills to buy to make it so that people will buy his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's that typical thing of like generic fantasy person tries ramen for the first time and is like,
This is the best food in the
food
universe.
ever, like, and then buys a million ramens, whatever.
Like vending machine ramens are not that great.
Yeah. Well, maybe when you're in a fantasy world, they are. And the only
Maybe
thing
if
you're
you've
eating is-
leveled up that skill, if you're the vending machine, you've leveled
Yeah.
up that skill high.
Yeah, that's true. Ramen flavor, flavor packets.
I mean, he uses Mentos and Pepsi to
Yeah.
defeat an enemy at some point. The only kind of magical thing he can do besides exist as a vending machine in a magical universe is his barrier skill, I think.
Oh yeah. The first skill he learns is like barrier to defend himself from goblins who just start smashing him.
Yeah. Well, Kuator, aren't they frog people or something?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
Koto, not goblins. That's it. They came out of the lake.
But yeah, so it's him being carried around by an insanely strong girl.
Yeah, her like special skill is super strength.
Strength, yeah.
Yeah. So what are the chances him getting found by someone with super strength? What are the odds?
Like at the vending machine.
Yeah, lack of the vending machine. Exactly.
He can transform into other vending machines. I suppose that's also a supernatural
Yeah.
power.
Well, I haven't gotten that far yet. I've only watched the first episode.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Spoilers!
Sorry.
It's ruined for me now. I have to stop watching.
It's
Yes.
surprisingly compelling, actually.
Yeah, no. Like I
For,
said, I get one isekai. That's my like guilty pleasure. This will be my isekai for the season.
Yeah.
I have decided. Yeah.
Not to spoil anything, but he's surprisingly good at controlling the population of towns.
Yeah. Well, when you have access to the only special like food type that everyone likes.
Yeah. I mean, he has sugar powers. That's
Yeah,
like a
literally.
superpower in
Processed
medieval
sugar
world.
doesn't exist anywhere else in this world.
And like caffeine, right?
Yeah. Oh yes, yeah, because he sells energy drinks to like the guardsmen,
Yeah.
so that they can stay up at night and do their.
How did he get popular? Drugs.
Yeah,
Drugs,
right.
essentially, yes.
Processed drugs.
Same way it works for everyone. Okay, this is the one I thought. Right. So my unique skill makes me OP even at level 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those. So he dies at his desk in his office kind of jobs, gets reincarnated. In a kind of funny way. So he gets reincarnated as the drop of a slime in a dungeon. Like a MMO kind of drop from like a video game character thing.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So wait, when the killer slime,
So that's supposed to drop 2 bean sprouts, but instead it drops a adult human.
an ultimate and a bean sprout. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
He has no ability to rank up. His character sheet says level 1 of 1, so he can't gain more levels.
So he's stuck. Hence level
And
1.
all of his abilities and stats and stuff are F rank, which is low,
right.
except one, of course, which is he always gets the maximum drop from a monster.
Okay.
So he's already hardworking because obviously he worked himself to death.
The Japanese dream.
Exactly. Well, it's actually kind of the first few episodes of him learning he doesn't have to kill himself at work. So it's quite nice.
Oh, good. So it's educational.
Like so the girl that kills the slime in the dungeon doesn't have a home, so he spends the first few weeks using his killing slimes to get the maximum drop to like rent a place for them to live. And she kind of decides to be his girlfriend, I guess, at that point.
Because it's isekai and harem.
Yeah, well, and she's nice. She kind of tells him he doesn't literally have to not sleep and such, and they can earn enough money with his new skill, and then the power creep happens thereafter, right? So he'll find a dungeon with a monster that drops an item which raises stats, even though he can't raise his level and so on and so forth. And things are going to just deteriorate from there.
Yeah. He's already got his OP skill.
Yeah.
He was he was like vulnerable the second he reincarnated.
Pretty much, yeah.
Don't you worry, Nan.
But not bad. Not a bad one.
But there is no vending machine.
No vending machine. I'm not sure about this one. The Great Cleric. Seiji Muso.
Suiji Muso. Salaryman isekai de ikinikoru tame ni ayumu.
Exactly.
Yeah. I haven't watched this.
No, I haven't found this either. So.
It's on Crunchyroll apparently.
Okay.
Salaryman gets shot. Okay. Oh no, gets another shot. Oh, I thought he got shot. That'd be a unique death.
Maybe he got shot and then got another shot on top.
Got another shot. Yeah. Something reborn as a cleric healer. He learns that being a healer is more challenging than he expected, with strict and strenuous training in store. A new life this is turning to be. Okay, sounds isekai-ish.
Another isekai.
I wonder what his OP skill is.
He's a cleric.
Kiru. Yeah.
He's just a cleric. That's OP enough, right?
Fair.
Another card fight. Card fight
Wolf-
was pretty
Wolf plus
okay. But,
Card fight Vanguard. Will plus stress. 3.
Not going to talk too much about that. We're getting into some kids stuff, which I'm going to ignore a bit.
Yakusho Kizoku kid stuff show.
Yeah. The correction for us is that the bottom rated one is actually Yami Shibai because Naruto hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it's like, along with some other things.
Anyway, so Ayaka, I couldn't
Ayaka.
watch it.
A story of bonds and wounds.
Yeah, it looked kind of depressing.
All
so I
three who
skipped
one
it.
day encounters an eccentric disciple of his father's. The strange man takes him to his birthplace, made up of 7 islands where mysterious beings are called Mitama, and dragons are rumored to reside. There he meets his father's 2 other disciples. That sounds kind of convoluted.
And-
It's not compelling.
Apparently it's based off a mythological story.
And there's a few animes that haven't actually come out yet, which maybe we'll just talk about quickly because some of them look good. Dungeon Meshi. Dungeon food?
Yeah.
Delicious in dungeon. This is just about something everyone who's ever played D&D has done. You know, you've been in a dungeon, you've had a DM who's a bit mean and wants to make you scavenge for all of your food, right?
Yes.
And so you've had to kill a choker and then choke it down,
Yes.
so to speak.
And
So,
make
yeah.
fort rolls.
This is about a guy who eats what he kills, and that's what they say you should do. I mean,
looking
it looks like fun. It looks like fun.
When's it coming out? Do we know?
Not sure.
Okay. Unclear.
Is it July
It's
1st?
It's
July,
first,
but it
you know,
has no
yeah.
platform, so
Yeah. So I don't think it's
Yeah.
it's a trigger anime. Okay.
yeah. So it's certainly got promise.
Goblin Slayer 2.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Quite a fan of the first season. So we'll
Did
see
you
how
watch
it-
the movie?
I haven't watched the movie.
You
no.
need to watch the movie because it progresses the
Really?
plot.
Oh wow, nice.
So rare for an anime movie to progress the
Yeah,
plot.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you
why
could
they
watch.
let
You
me
could
pull
read the
up my
manga as
radar.
well, I guess, if you want to do that. And I don't know what Nanashi Kaidan is, and it hasn't aired yet, so I don't think we can actually talk about that. Oh right. It's not necessarily anime related, right? But there's a Konosuba Haruri crossover game that's happening, and they've made character art of the same style as the Isekai Quartet characters for the Haruri characters. So I'm wondering if we're going to get like a Haruri Quartet kind of thing going on. That would be my hope for that. Yeah. And yeah, that's about all of the anime.
Yeah, what a season.
I think it's actually quite a good season, given the overall flow of things. Maybe like summer anime tends to be a bit better, a bit stronger.
Needs more mecha anime. I'm lodging an official complaint.
There should be. Bullbuster should be coming out.
What did you call it?
Bullbuster, Bull.
Bullbuster. Bullbuster.
But not seeing that. Anyway, there's a few anime that also continuing on through to the next season. Surprisingly, this Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts is a double season anime. I don't understand why they made that decision to make this into a long form anime. I guess it's the furry market being captured there. Because it's about like a Beauty and the Beast story and all the anthropomorphized characters. I don't know.
Well, somebody's enjoying it.
Yeah. And yeah, that'll do it for all of our discussion of anime. Anyone had a favorite after we've had our talk?
Yeah, Psalm 100 was the top of my list.
I'm actually just more confused now about what I thought was good after
Yeah.
going through all of them.
Actually, yeah, I've also kind of undecided. I suppose the next thing I'm going to watch the episode 2 of, because I watched the episode 1 of a whole lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
My next episode 2 is probably going to be Masterful Cat because it's chill and I feel like having a chill episode of something.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a bunch of those
I'm
out at the moment. If you want some chill things to watch, which is nice because you kind of want, if in your like evening of watching stuff, you can watch something scary and then something chill, and then a drama and then something sweet or something like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I might pop through tomorrow depending on people's availability to show off that episode, so you could watch it with us then if you're free.
Sweet. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Thank you for joining us, Greg, with your glorious AI beard.
Ah, yes, yeah. For those who didn't notice, I spontaneously generated this avatar in the 5 seconds before this episode started.
Yeah.
So the beard is a bit weird, but you can thank AI for that.
And thanks, guys. This has been the Japanese thing. Ciao for now.
Cheerio.
Bye.